Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning, Miss.
Good morning, Miss Anita.
We are going to start our international seminar soon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. The Excellency Bapak Muhammad Hafidh Nashrullah S.A.M.M., Director of Universitas Islam Darul Ulum Lamongan. The Respectable Ibu Dra. Hajah Khotimah Suryani M.Ag, the Vice Rector for Academic, Collaboration, Research and Community Services. The Respectable Bapak Mahbub Junaidi M.Thi, the Vice Rector for Student Affairs, Alumni and Islamic Syiar of Aswaja An-Nadiyah. The Honorable Bapak Dr. Khoirul Huda, S.Pd. M.Hum, the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. The distinguished Dr. Sun Yuchai from University of Nottingham, Malaysia. The respectable Dr. Wan Ab Aziz from University Malaysia, Kelantan. The Honorable Dr. Marvin S. Daguplo from Southern Leyte State University, Philippines. The respectable Dr. Irmayani from Unisda Lamongan. The respectable Vice Dean and Head of Undergraduate Program, all the committees and lectures of Unisda Lamongan. The unforgettable, all the participants of international seminar whom he proud of. Let's pray and thanks to our God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has been giving us mercies and blessings so we can attend and gather in this seminar. Secondly, all prayers are presented to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the most extraordinary leader who has guiding us from the darkness to the brightness. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to read the several agenda for today's seminar. The first agenda is opening. The second agenda is singing the national anthem from Indonesia, followed by Mars Unisda and Salawat Nurizati. The third agenda is welcome speech. The speech is from the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. The fourth agenda is the international seminar, and the last agenda is closing. Before beginning the agendas, let us open our agenda today by reciting Al-Fatihah together. Ala hadiniyah wa ala kulli niyatin solihah Al-Fatihah. Thank you very much. The second agenda is singing the national anthem in Indonesia Raya from Indonesia, followed by Mars Unisda and Salawat Nurizati.
محمد النور ذاتي وسير السري في سائر الأسماء والصفات وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد النور ذاتي وسير السري في سائر الأسماء والصفات وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the following agenda is speeches. The welcome speech is from the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education to Bapak Dr. Khoirul Huda, S.Pd. M.Hum. You are kindly request to do the honor.
Can you hear me? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Morning everyone.
Good morning, Bapak.
First of all, The Excellency Mr. Muhammad Hafidh Nashrullah, as the Rector of Darul Ulum Islamic University of Lamongan, Mr. and Mrs. Vice of the Rector and staff, the first speaker, Dr. Sun Yun Chai from University of Nottingham, Malaysia. Second speaker, Dr. Aziz bin Daud from Universiti Malaysia, Kelantan. The third speaker, Dr. Marvin S. Daguplo from Southern Leyte State University. And the fourth speaker, Dr. Irmayani S.M.Pd, Darul Ulum Islamic University. Morning, Ma'am. And Miss Anita Hapsari as the moderator, and all of the participants who joined the seminar, also the committee of international seminar. First of all, I would like to say welcome to international seminar presented by the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education of Unisda FKIP Unisda Lamongan, with the themes Transforming Education, the Role of Technology in Shaping Future Classrooms. This seminar will concern on trend in education technology and the application in the classroom settings. Transformative teaching strategies utilizing technology, critical discussion on the challenge and ethical consideration of technology used in education, and to innovate and adopt the future demand in education. And this seminar will explore innovative technological solutions and their potential to enhance learning outcomes, particularly in preparing future educators by addressing challenges and opportunities of integrating technology in classrooms. This event seeks to empower undergraduate education students to actively participate in shaping modern educational practices. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that the impact of the technology on education is undeniable. Educational institutions worldwide are embracing digital tools to make learning more accessible, engaging, and personalized. Technology has undeniably transformed education, offering students and teachers tools that were unimaginable just a few years ago, while challenges remain. The future of education is bright, with technology playing a pivotal role in shaping how we learn, how we teach, and interact with the knowledge. At least for everyone, thanks all in this participant of international seminar, and congratulations and success. Thank you very much. At least, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for Bapak Khoirul Huda. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and participants, we are now approaching the agenda that is international seminar. First, I would like to say good morning, distinguished speakers, honorable guests, and dear participants. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to today's international seminar, themed Transforming Education, the Role of Technology in Shaping Future Classrooms. In this fast-paced digital era, technology has become a powerful catalyst for change, revolutioning the way we teach and learn. Today, we gather to explore how these advancements are reshaping education, preparing students for a future that is dynamic, interconnected, and ever-evolving. We are honored to have esteemed experts from various fields here with us, who will share their insights and experiences on how technology is not just a tool, but a transformative force in education. Without further ado, let us embark on this enlightening journey together. I will serve as your moderator today. Let's make this session both engaging and impactful. Now, it is my honor to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Sun Yu Chai from University of Nottingham, Malaysia. I see here. Good morning for Dr. Sun Yu Chai from University of Nottingham, Malaysia.
Good morning. Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Dr. Sun Yu Chai. So first, I would like to read her CV. Dr. Sun Yu Chai is an assistant professor and coordinator for the MA Education Program at the University of Nottingham, Malaysia, or UNM. She earned her PhD and MA TESOL from UNM and completed her PhD, PED TESOL at the University of Selangor. Her teaching career began in an international school where she taught English at both primary and secondary levels. In her current role in higher education, she emphasizes empowering students to connect and apply knowledge and skills from diverse subjects and disciplines by implementing integrated assessments and interdisciplinary teaching. She leveraged technology to diversify learning experiences and increase student engagement. Her research interests include creativity in higher education and technology-enhanced learning, emphasizing how these areas can enrich teaching practices and improve students' learning experiences. So everybody here, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Sun Yu Chai.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen. Is everyone able to see the screen, view the screen?
Yes, you.
Okay, great. So I believe that everyone can hear me, all right?
Yep.
Okay, Great, thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. I'm Shun Yu from University of Nottingham, Malaysia, and it's really a great pleasure to be able to be here to share with you about how to bridge pedagogy and technology together to enhance students' learning experiences. So this is going to be the focus of my sharing today. So please feel free to sort of like turn on your camera and also engage with me via chat as well. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, right, let's look at what is actually driving the shape of education in the future. So we don't need to look far, right? Just look at 2030, which is just probably like 6 years later, right? So what is actually driving the shape of education? So we have globalization and growth, because the globalization, it actually it connects the world. It breaks the traditional geographical boundary, and it allows people to have access to more languages, more cultures. So globalization helps or shapes the education in the future. The next thing that drives the shape of the future, of education in the future, is global population changes, right? We talk about younger people, more and more younger people, and also the aging population as well. So this leads to the need for lifelong learning, for example, and this will also shape how education will be like in the future. The future of work and skills. So I think, you know, whatever that we teach students right now, we probably don't know whether the jobs in 2030, for example, still exist, right? So what we need to educate students is about communication skills, problem-solving skills, all these soft skills that are available to help them navigate in the future. And the next one would be advancements in technology. So advancements in technology, so now we have got AI, right? We have got VR, we have got AR. So all these technologies will actually shape education in the future. So just like what Bart earlier mentioned, right? So education changes the way we teach, changes the way we learn, changes the way we interact with knowledge. So all this would actually shape the future of education. So all these, we talk about what drives the shape of education, right? But where are we right now exactly? So these are news that I put together. So look at in Malaysia, I'm from Malaysia. So bridging the digital divide. So that means, you know, we have issues about the gap between those who have access to the internet and those who don't have internet access. Indonesia is also facing the problem in terms of inequality in internet access. Then South Africa, looking further away, right? South Africa is facing the same issues as well. Because of digital divide, it makes the country facing even worse inequality. So these are the issues right now, right? So talking about digital divide. Then what are the teachers facing? So we see that teachers are actually not prepared to use technology in the classroom. So these are the different news together. So digital divide is something that teachers can't control, right? But teachers' ability to use or navigate technology or leverage technology in limited access or limitless access is very important. So now the question for you is, are you all ready to teach with technology in diverse contexts? So I know from Bak Buyun that a lot of you are actually future teachers, right? Teaching different subjects. So are you all ready to teach with technology in diverse contexts? So diverse contexts could mean contexts that have different level of access to technology, right? Or your participants may be diverse as well. So this would be today's focus. How to get ready to teach with technology. And we will focus on two key questions essentially. So what are these two key questions? So whenever we integrate technology into our classroom, so these are the two key questions that we can ask ourselves. So what are students doing with technology? Right, we need to focus on the students. Students are part or the focus of our teaching and learning process, right? Then the second question would be, how does your use of technology actually impact students' learning experiences? Right, it's not about the use of technology. It's about how our use of technology have an influence on students' learning experiences. So these are the two key questions that we should be asking. But what are these different questions? So for the first question, what are students doing with technology? We need to think about, students passive? Right? Are they just learning passively, listening to the teachers talking? Are they interactive? Right? Are they interactive with the technology? Are they actually interacting with the technology? And are students creative? Are we getting students to create something with technology? So these are the three questions that we will ask around the key question of what students are doing with technology. Then the second key question, how does your technology, your use of technology impact students' learning experiences? First question, does technology replace traditional instructional practice? Is it replacing traditional practice? Does technology amplify traditional instructional practice? So amplify means making it more efficient, for example, making it more interesting than the traditional practice. Then the third one, does technology transform traditional instructional practice? So transforming traditional instructional practice means changing the process of teaching and learning that previously would seem to be not conceivable, not possible. So these are the two key questions that need to be asked. So we can call this PIC-RAT. All right, so you can see here PIC-RAT. So we can call that PIC-RAT model. So this is what I'm going to do. I will talk to you about, I'll go through with you the PIC-RAT model so that we can see, how exactly we can ask questions around our own use of pedagogy and what exactly our students are doing. So if you could see the matrix, the vertical axis would be what are the students doing. So you can see that there's passive, interactive, and creative, right? So y-axis refers to what are the students doing. So the x-axis asks the questions about our use of technology. How is our use of technology impacting students' learning? So the y and the x-axis. So if we look at the first one, PR, that means we use the technology to replace traditional instruction, right? And students are very passive. So what can be the example? So students listen to a PPT lecture. Right? So could you tell me, what is it replacing here? I don't know whether I can have access to your chat. Let me see. Okay, I can't see the chat box. So students listen to a PPT lecture. So initially, usually the traditional approaches, right? Students listen to probably students not looking at PPT lecture. Students are listening to the whiteboard, looking at the whiteboard. Teachers are using whiteboard, right? Chalk and board to talk to the students. Then with technology, it means that, okay, we can show PPT lecture. But what is the process, right? It's still the same process where the students are actually listening passively to the teachers, right? So the PPT lecture is only replacing the whiteboard. Okay, right. So this is what we call passive replaces. Students listen to a PPT lecture. Okay, so when it comes to replacing, right, but students are interacting, so we can say that students use Adobe or Kami to highlight reading. So instead of using the highlighter, right? Instead of using highlighter, we replace the highlighter using Kami or Adobe, where students can actually highlight that. Okay, so students are interacting with the technology, right? The technology is the software, like the app Kami or Adobe. But students are interacting with that. Students are doing something with the technology. The last one, replaces. Creative replaces. So that this means that we are still replacing something, right? Traditional approaches, but here students are allowed to create something. Let's say replacing, so students create digital posters using PPT. So are students creating something? Yes, right, students are creating something. But what are we replacing? We are actually replacing paper and markers, right? But students are still creating something. And using PPT, that means students are just putting some pictures and stuff like that, and without actually doing anything else. But they are still creating something using technology, right? So now moving on, we will look at passive amplifiers. Passive amplifiers, so when we are amplifying, when we use technology to amplify our teaching, that means we make our traditional instructions a bit more interesting or a bit more efficient. So for example, students listen to an engaging PPT lecture that makes use of different modes. So here, students are still very passive, all right? Are students doing anything? They're not doing anything. They're still very, very passive. So what are we replacing here is, instead of using whiteboard and markers to talk to students, we use PPT. But this PPT lecture is better than the earlier ones because we incorporate different formats. For example, we use audio, we use visuals, which, you know, in traditional methods, if we were to use a whiteboard and markers, then, you know, these things may not be easily done. Right? So it increases the efficiency and it increases the engagement between students and the content as well. Right? But the students are still very passive. They're not doing anything. Right? So this is passive amplifiers. What about interacting amplifiers? So amplifying means, you know, we want to enhance our traditional instruction. So amplifies means, so when it's interacting, students watch a YouTube documentary with embedded quizzes and receives instant feedback and has several attempts to it. Right. Can you see how students are interacting with the technology right now? Right. So students watching YouTube documentary, right? If they're just watching YouTube documentary, then it is very, very passive. But here they are interacting with YouTube documentary because why? Because they are answering quizzes, right? And then they receive instant feedback, and then they can interact with it again by trying, by having different attempts to get the answers correct, for example. So here, students are interacting with the technology instead of just listening to the content in a passive manner. Then what about creative amplifiers? Students create short documentaries on something, on a topic, using video editing apps. So here, students are allowed to create something. They're not just interacting and they're not just listening to the content, but they are allowed to be creative. So they come out with a product, creating short documentaries and using technology. So this technology can be any kind of video editing apps. Right. So the next one would be passive, still passive, but transforms. Transforming is when the use of technology changes the way in which teaching and learning could happen, right? Which previously probably, you know, it's not something that is possible. So for example, students are very passive here, okay, still very passive here. But what is the transformation is that students watch a holographic presentation to learn about the topic. So holographic, right? So we can see something real, right, with 3 dimensions in front of us, right, which previously cannot happen. If you see, I think, do you know, I'm not sure whether you know this, in India, so the teacher in India actually used holographic presentation to teach the students on animals, right? Holographic, so students can exactly see how animals are in front of them without having to go to the zoo, right? So this is something that is not possible previously, but with the technology, it is possible. But when we look at this, right, students are still very passive. Students are not doing anything with the holographic presentation. They're just looking at that, okay, knowing what an elephant is, for example. So it's passive. So how can we actually make it interactive? Let's see another example about interactive transform. So students use AI chatbot for personalized conversations in a foreign language. Previously, students can only speak to the teachers, right? And then with technology right now, with AI chatbots, students can ask questions anytime about any kind of questions in any medium, right? Anywhere, anytime. And how students are interacting instead of being passive is that because students are interacting with the chatbot, students are asking questions to the robots, and robots answer them, and then they have a conversation. And this could actually facilitate students' learning, right? Because AI actually maybe, correct the students, and students ask questions. So these interactions facilitate learning. And therefore, it is interactive transform. Students are not just listening to AI chatbot. So this is interactive transform. Then what about creative transforms? Students design an interactive board game using Scratch and then incorporate that within 3D printing. So is this transforming? So previously, this is not going to happen, right? This is not possible. But, students are able to, so this transforms learning because students are designing an interactive board using any kind of software. It can be Scratch, it can be anything else, and then incorporate that within the 3D printing. So then, you can imagine, right, the 3D printing interactive board. So you have got the board game, and then you have got the Scratch where it is connected. So this is transforming, right? And what is creative? Because students are being creative. You're allowing students to come up with something, to generate a product, right? When they are creating the board game, they need to solve problems, they need to be critical, they need to be creative, right? So here's what are the students doing? Students are creating. Right? And how is your use of technology impacting students' learning? You are transforming, you're changing this teaching, the normal or the traditional or conventional teaching and learning processes. So this is what we call the pick-rat matrix. So each time when you are using this or when you are thinking about integrating technology in your classroom, all you need to ask would be, what are my students doing? Are they being passive? Right? Are they interacting with the technology? Because we are integrating technology, right? Are they using technology to create something? Right? So then we also need to ask, how is my use of technology impact students' learning? Am I just replacing traditional methods? There's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong with that, right? Or am I actually amplifying that, making the traditional instructions a bit more efficient, a bit more engaging, a bit more interesting? What am I doing here? Or am I transforming the whole teaching and learning processes, right? So that I am allowing students to experience something that can't be experienced without technology. So pick-rat model can actually guide us to really look at our use of technology in 2 perspectives, the impact and what the students are doing. So would PICRAT help address digital divide to some extent? Right? Would it help to address digital divide? Because so what, right? We're talking about, wow, PICRAT. Then what can we do, right? If there's no technology, we just talk about digital divide in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in South Africa. And of course, you know, in any kind of developed countries as well, there will be digital divide. It's just that, you know, the gap may not be as wide as the gap in certain countries, but digital divide is still there. So if this is the problem, then how are we going to deal with that? Would PICRAT be able to help? So if we look at RAT, right, replacing, amplifying, transforming, they are about shifting teaching practices. It's not necessarily requiring any kind of advanced technology, digital tools. So it's just about shifting teaching practices, right? If we are replacing, we can think about how we can amplify that using digital tools, right? And then how we can transform that further. Okay. Because you see, we don't need any kind of too much of digital tools. For example, amplifying, so replacing. So for example, using quizzes, right? Quizzes, traditional quizzes, what would that be? Is anyone answering in the chat box? Is anyone answering in the chat box? Yes. Could you let me know? I can't actually see who is actually writing. Okay, I think I can see it right now. Okay, so let's say quizzes, right? So here, you know, please, you are most welcome to share with me your thoughts. Let's say replacing, right? Let's say the original idea would be pen and pencil quizzes, right? So replacing pen and paper quizzes, what would you do? Okay, Mentimeter, all right, it could be Mentimeter, replacing. Mentimeter, okay, replacing. Mentimeter, sometimes it could be amplifying as well, depending on what you do, how you do it, all right? So if we are using Mentimeter, right, just Mentimeter, replacing that, students are not going to do anything about that, and you're not going to use any other features within Mentimeter, and that's really replacing it, right? It's just like having ebook instead of a traditional book, right? So Mentimeter, yes. Then what about amplifying? If you want to make quizzes a bit more interactive, a bit more interesting, so you are amplifying that, what would you do? What kind of app could you use?
I'm so sorry for all the participants. It seems that Miss Sun Yu Chai has the problem with the connection. Please wait for Dr. Sun Yu Chai. It seems like there is a problem with her connections. We are going to reach her soon. We are still waiting for reaching Dr. Sun Yu Chai.
Hi.
Welcome back again.
I know, right? I'm having, what is that called? Digital divide as well issue. Okay.
Yes,
So
that's
sorry
the
about that.
problem if we have a virtual event like this. No problem,
Yeah.
Miss Sun Yu
Yes,
Chai.
no problem. No problem. We continue with that. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. And I don't know what happened actually. I keep trying. Okay, so okay, I think okay, we were here, right? Okay, so we were talking about how PIC-RAT could actually address digital divide to some extent. So RAT are about shifting teaching practices. They're not just about using advanced digital tools, right? At the end of the day, when we are using technology, it's about students learning. It's not about what we use, right? Then PIC-RAT, passive, interactive, and creative dimensions. Do you remember we have got this PIC and a RAT, right? So the PIC dimensions, they actually apply to how students engage with the content and how it can be adapted to low technology settings. Right? So it's not about the need to use high-end technologies, but any kind of technology, even those less advanced ones, would be able to help us to transform or amplify teaching and learning experiences. And even without technologies, we can always think about how to actually help students to create or help them to allow them to be creative as well. So instead of trying to replicate high-tech solutions, addressing inequity by building activities that value local knowledge, culture and community involvement is useful, right? So it's not about the technology. So here, I'm going to share with you this video. Let me know if sound can be heard, all right? Are you able to hear the sound?
Not yet.
Not yet, huh? Okay, let me just let me stop sharing. Share sound. Can you hear anything? Can you hear the sound?
Yes, the sounds is
Okay.
clear.
Okay, great. Let's see how the future of education will be, how the classroom will be. Okay, what do you think?
Wow, I think I want to be a student again. If the class are like that, Miss.
Yeah, do you think that's possible? Very impressive. Yeah, exactly. So, well, we can see all the kinds of technology but I mean, it's something that we know, right? Hologram, touch screen, it's things like that. So AR, VR. So these things are now possible, right? But it's possible in some places, but not possible in some other places as well, right? But, we all want to have these kind of classrooms, right? High tech, interactive, 3Ds, right? But unfortunately, it's not everything is possible. So just a bit of like action. So think about the action that you can take. So what small change can you make today to integrate teaching meaningfully into learning? So this would be something that we all need to think about when we talk about regret. And we are saying that, okay, it's not about the technology, it's about how we use technology to enhance students' learning. So what can we do to make integration of technology more meaningfully, right, into teaching. So these are things that we need to think about. Right? So you can actually share your thoughts as well via chat. And so what do you actually see? Sorry. What did you see in the video? So if you notice, right, with technology, even though, I mean, the technology is so advanced, right? Sometimes, you know, certain things I have never experienced it as well, right? But can you see that in any kinds of settings with advanced technology in it, a teacher is there, if you noticed in the video. The teacher is there, right? So that's why it's not about the digital tools, it's about the teacher. So this is what I would like to share with you, the quote: teachers are the real engineers of human progress, right? And no technology can replace their passion, their wisdom, and also their care. So it's us, the teachers, that use the technology to enhance learning. And even without technology, we are still able to make use of our pedagogical knowledge to facilitate students' learning in a meaningful way, in an effective way. So this is the quote that I would like to leave with you, and I would like to share with you in this session to end this sharing session. So thank you very much. Any questions? We have a bit of time for questions, and I know that I've been told that we should leave a bit of time for questions, right? So please feel free to ask any questions if you have any. So this PICRAT model, right? There are limitations as well. Sorry.
Yes, Miss Sun, Miss
Yeah, Shunyu, yeah,
Yun Chai.
yeah.
So everybody, all of the participants, you may give questions for Miss Sun Yu Chai. First, I would like to say thank you very much for the insightful presentation. It was truly enlightening, Miss, particularly for the PICRAT matrix. Wow, it's so impressive. And I think that I will adapt that matrix for my class for the next semester.
Thank you, thank you. I'm not sure whether, you know, some of you are familiar with PICRAT as well, but I think PICRAT is something that we can actually adapt. And there are limitations as well, because when we are looking at replaces, so replaces are quite straightforward, right? Amplifying, okay, it's fine, but then amplifying and transformative, sometimes, you know, the distinction is unclear. So you may be thinking that, oh, whether I'm amplifying instructional methods or whether it is I am actually transforming teaching and learning processes. So there are confusions, but it doesn't matter. It is actually a model that helps us to think about, to keep questioning our own pedagogical practices. So that's the practices, yeah. And we just need to look at it as a continuum. So we don't need to put them in a category. So sometimes certain practices, it could be in between replacing and amplifying, or amplifying and transformative. So we just need to look at it as a continuum instead of, you know, or trying hard to sort of like categorize my practices. Oh, am I amplifying? Am I transforming? So we don't have to force ourselves to do that. It's about, I think the practice, what we need to practice is to keep questioning our own pedagogy or our way of using technology.
Thank you, Dr. Sun Yu Chai. So everybody, you may use the chat here if you have any questions for Dr. Sun Yu Chai. You may write on the chat here.
You're most welcome.
Sharing the ideas, ma'am. Sun Yu, God bless.
You're most welcome. Or you can, if you don't have any questions, you could also share with me. Okay, right, I have.
Here, we have one question here. Okay, from Ida Aulia. Thank you for your insightful explanation, Miss. So my question is, how can teachers balance the use of technology with maintaining human interaction in classrooms?
Okay, nice. And thank you very much for your question, Ijda, right? Ijda. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So it's a great question here. So how do we balance the use of technology with maintaining human interaction in the classroom? So I think the most commonly used approach right now is a blended approach of flipped learning. Right, so we flip learning in the sense that, we get students to watch a video or do something else before the class. And then during the class, then we can focus on the human interaction. We focus on discussion instead of students just listen to us sharing or presenting the topic. So that is one of the most common ways that people are doing right now to maintain the balance between using technology and human interaction. So during the class time, right, we can focus on interaction a bit more. And we will still be using technology. So even simple things like PPT is a form of technology, like Kahoot is a form of technology. So when we are using Kahoot, for example, we will still be interacting with the students, right? It's not like just students are using that and not interacting with us. So the most common way is to have that balance would be probably flip your classroom, right? When they're not seeing you, they would interact with technology, right? Learning the content through technology. And during the classroom, focus on higher order thinking skills, critical thinking, and discussion. So that would be one of the most common ways that we can do.
Thank you, Ms. Chai. So I think we don't have any other questions. Is there any other questions? One more maybe from the participants? From SLSU students? Okay, so here we have another question.
Okay.
Just a quick question, ma'am. It is acceptable to incorporate AI in your teachings, or teachers should be cautious in using it? Wow.
Okay, right. Great,
Very
great.
interesting.
Yeah, and I think so using AI depends on what kind of AI we are talking about, right? I think if I understand you correctly, I think your AI may refer to GAI. Actually, is that right? So probably like ChatGPT or Perplexity, generative AI tools like that. Okay, right. Because AI tools, is a very it's broad. So if we are talking about Gen AI, is it acceptable to incorporate AI in your teaching? Well, so it depends on how we use it, right? When we are talking about incorporating AI, but I want to ask you a question. Are you using AI right now? I'm sure we all do, right? I use AI as well, right? So it's completely acceptable to use, yes, mostly, right? Every day. ChatGPT, I need it every day as well. I use it. So it's something that we are using right now. So it's definitely acceptable to use AI. So we can use AI to create lesson plans for us, right? And also to maybe generate some ideas for us as well, generate activities for us. So yeah, that's definitely acceptable. Do we need to be cautious? Right, then yes as well, because we need to be okay. Right, can you hear me right now? Okay, right. So when we are using Gen AI, for example, we need to be aware that these kind of big data, there is AI bias as well, right? Because it depends on where the data sources are from, right? And then we need to be very cautious. We need to acknowledge sources, and we need to know whether those input provided by AI is accurate, right? So yes, definitely we need to be very cautious if we were to use AI in our teaching. So if we are using it, we need to make sure accuracy, inclusivity, things like that, right? But if we are getting students to use GAI, for example, then we need to teach them AI literacy. We need to teach them to be able to verify credibility of sources. So it's two ways, right? So to answer your questions again, yes, it is definitely acceptable. Do we need to be cautious? Yes, we need to. If we are the one using it, we need to verify the credibility of the sources. We need to be critical about what the input is providing to us is appropriate. So this is when we are using it. But if we get to teach students to use GAI, right? You get students to say, write an essay, and you ask students to, okay, get some ideas from GAI, for example. Then we need to teach them the skills that they require to use GAI ethically, responsibly, and effectively. Right? But definitely, because we can't stop people using that, and we are also using that. So yeah, acceptable, and yes, need to be cautious.
Thank you, Dr. Sun Yu Chai. Okay. Thank you for insightful presentation and also the question and answer session. Okay, I'm afraid that regarding the schedule and also the limited of time, we still have 3 more presenters for today. So we are going to end the first session.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll share my slides with Pak Buyun. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me as well. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, sorry. So, ladies and gentlemen, next we have Dr. Wan Ab Aziz from Universiti Malaysia Kelantan. Are you there, Dr. Wan Ab Aziz?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning, Mr.
Good
Wan
morning.
Aziz. Good
Assalamualaikum. Apa kabar?
Salam. Alhamdulillah, baik. Okay, so we are while we are waiting for sharing the screen for Dr. Wan Ab Aziz, I will read his CV here. So Dr. Wan Ab Aziz from Universiti Malaysia Kelantan is a distinguished senior lecturer and current deputy dean of academic affairs at the Faculty of Language Studies and Human Development, Universiti Malaysia Kelantan. With over a decade of experience in academia, he has established himself as a leading expert in 2 crucial domains: Arabic language education and instructional technology. A graduate technologist recognized by the Malaysia Board of Technologists, or MBOT, Dr. Wan Ab Aziz brings a unique blend of linguistic expertise and technological innovation to his work. He holds a PhD in instructional technology education with a focus on Arabic from Sultan Idris Education University, completing his master's degree in teaching Arabic as a second language from the International Islamic University, Malaysia. His specialized areas of expertise are twofold. In Arabic language, he excels in Arabic proficiency and teaching Arabic to non-native speakers. In instructional technology, he specializes in computer-assisted language learning and game-based learning methodologies. This dual specialization has enabled him to pioneer innovative approaches in language education. As a prolific researcher and innovator, he has authored numerous high-impact publications and secured multiple research grants, particularly in developing digital learning tools for Arabic language education. His work has earned him over 35 awards, including multiple gold medals at International Innovation Exhibition and recognition for teaching excellence. Notable among these are the Best Teaching and Learning Innovation Award and multiple gold medals at the International University Carnival on e-learning. Currently leading several funded research projects including the development of AI integrated Arabic language education frameworks and innovative mobile application for language learning. Dr. Aziz continues to push the boundaries of educational technology. He is also a certified Arabic translator with ITBM Malaysia and regularly conducts workshops on teaching innovations and e-learning methodologies. His expertise in blending traditional language pedagogy with modern technological approaches has made him a sought-after speaker at educational forums and workshops across Malaysia, particularly in the areas of e-learning, MOOC development, and innovative teaching methodologies. So everybody, here is the presentation by Dr. Aziz from University of Kelantan, Malaysia.
Okay, can I start?
Yes,
Okay,
please. Your Dr.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. First of all, I would like to say thanks for the organizer for inviting me as a speaker today to share regarding the role of technology in shaping future classroom in line with the international seminar organized by Fakultas Keguruan and Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Islam Darul Ulum, Lamongan, Indonesia. First of all, I would like to say ahlan wa sahlan. My name is Wan Abdul Aziz bin Daud from the Faculty of Language Study and Human Development, Universiti Malaysia, Kelantan. Alhamdulillah, based on my experience, inshallah today I'm going to share with the academician and of students from the Facultas of Teachers Education, Teachers Training and Education, which is the graduate soon will be the teachers, will be the lecturers, will be the educators. So this is the comply with the what we have. We are going to talk today. We are going to share with the audience regarding the integration of technology, current technology that encourage us to integrate it within the teaching and learning process. In the screen, I share to you that how shared by the my senior associate professor Dr. Nakhamimi Zainuddin regarding the integration of AI, the using of artificial intelligence. Previously, their audience asked the speaker regarding the using of AI in teaching and learning, or we call it in education process. So we can see today the developments of artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotic, and so on. We are more rely on the technology in our life. In every second of our life, including our daily life, work, at the office hour, coming to the school, to the classroom for teaching and for the learning, for teaching, for the lecturers, learning process for the students, cannot be acceptable from except from using the artificial intelligence. But why I can say that AI lacks human touch in education? Who agree with me? Let's begin with the critical examination of AI in education. Why we can see the students may struggle academically. Why AI's ability is too hard, is not straightforward. And well, we can say we can prompt anything from AI. For the generative AI, we can prompt anything what we want to get the teaching planning, to get the ideas, to get the some examples, some the info, the fact, and so on. But what we need is human interactions remain crucial for learning process. We as educators, we as the graduates must be differ from the others in-house, right? In using the AI for learning, especially providing empathy and personalized support that AI cannot replicate. Previously, we have doctor from Nottingham University shared with the how we want to replicate the technology in our teaching and learning. And teachers offer real-time encouragement and can identify struggling students in ways students cannot match. This is why, in order to we want to say that in our daily life today, anything done by AI, our assignment, our slide, our questions, our everything, our thesis, our article, text, and so on, written by AI, where is the human? But at the end of that, even though I'm the instructional technology, I'm eager into the using of technology in classroom, in the innovation and so on, but at the end, in the teaching and learning process, we cannot rely 100% on technology too. We need the touch of the human, the touch of the teacher, the lecturer into the student to verify, to validate the content provided by the generative artificial intelligence, as well as the most popular, I think. So when using the AI, when we are using the AI in teaching and learning process, I want to go into the where we are as a student, as a lecturer, and all of us as a learners. We need to know, for example, we as a lecturer, we are academician, we as a student, we need to know ourselves. The learning retention pyramid. Nowadays, we can see the students in the Z generation, Alpha generation, and so on. It's different from the what we call, I don't want to say the boomers and the old men and the senior ones, that the learning retention pyramid, currently we can see from the pyramid, the lecture giving from the lecture process, retentions of the students just only 5%, followed by the reading 10%, audio visual demonstration, and so on. And the student currently today want to learn using the demonstration, practice, the practical base, instead of hearing the lecture, listening the lecture given by the lecture, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. At the end, student feel bored. At the end, student sleeping in the classroom. At the end, student didn't get anything. So the teaching others, 90% say that this statistic clearly show that active learning methods are far more effective than passive ones. How we want to integrate, how we want to gamify, how we want to flip our classroom by integration of the technology. Yes, we can say that the student, we have 1 hour only in the teaching and learning process, but how we want to calculate, we want to demonstrate of using technology in our classroom. For example, we are using the learning management system, we are using the application tools, we are using the Mentimeter, Kahoot, and so on. There are so a lot. We are talking that, but when we want to talk, what is the best practices tools? What are the best practices system? If you ask me, I want to say that. This the chat. There are many participants in Indonesia departments that have little English word explanation in. That's mean explanation. I want to mix. That's what's your mean? Okay, the little Melayu language about main material. Okay, so I will mix. Sorry, no problem. I can mix with the Malay and English. All right. Okay. So when we are talking about the retention of pyramid, we want to start when I want you to use the technology in our classroom. We want to flip classroom. We want to gamify our classroom. We want to integrate the use of the application, the artificial intelligence, and so on. No problem. The lot of things, the lot of tutorial, the lot of guidelines provided to us how we want to use. By using the Kahoot to foreplay, we were using the Mentimeter, we were using the animation video demonstration and so on. But as educators, we need to know the style of learning. This in line with the style of learning, what we call it, how we want to learn, how our student want to learn. This fundamentally, the understanding of different style of learning style is crucial for effective education. So we have the visual learning, oral learning, verbal, physical, logical, social, and solitary. This is the style of learning. For example, we are teaching the mathematics subject, but we stay using the visual or the spatial style of learning to our students. Is it effective? No. At the end, student didn't get anything. At the end, student, after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, student feel bored. That's why the 7 learning style in detail, understanding these different approaches is fundamental. Even though you want to use any type of the technology in the classroom. Visual, which is spatial learners. The learners best understand and retain information through visual aids. They excel when learning material into image, picture, diagram, color codes information, mind map, flowchart, organization in presentation, visual pattern and design. Oral auditory, how the student prefer use sound and music. Verbal lecture and discussion, music elements, sound recording and audio materials, musical mnemonics and jingles, and so on. Verbally, linguistic learners, how the student, this kind of the student, learning style of the student. They prefer to written assignment and essay in doing the activities and assessment. They prefer to having the activities like speaking activities or debate activities in the classroom. This style of maybe students prefer to more into work-based techniques and also reading comprehension exercise and so on. These 7 styles and also the physical kinesthetic learners, practical experiment, logical mathematical learners and so on provide us how we want to plan our teaching and learning process by integration of the technology into. For example, we want to use the video, the audio. We want to use the activities using the application. We want to create the discussion by using the artificial intelligence. And also we want to use in our classroom as a reflection by using the games. To know the level of understanding students about the topic has been discussed before this. This is what we call is the style of learning. So I proceed with the important learning style with the world map. How diverse learning style interact and overlap, forming and comprehensive learning ecosystem in our classroom. Because as we mentioned, we have to know, we have to ask ourselves, we have to ask our students. We want to have the need analysis study first before we go further into developing the application, the digital module, the digital activities, the digital assessment. We have to know the learning style of our student at the first place. So when we have done with our studies, we have done the learners, our student especially, we want to integrate into the classroom. we come up with the ideas, we come up with the something we want to innovate. Before this, previously, we are using the traditional approach, using the 100% lectures given by the lecturer from the minute 1 until the minute last. Students are talking, a lecturer talking in one-way communication without giving the opportunity to the students to give their opinion, without giving the space for the students to interact each other, to discuss, to come up with the ideas, to practice what we have learned, we have teaching and the student has learned. But we come up with the idea. So the importance of innovation, in education nowadays is crucial for adapting to changing needs. We have to change our learning style, our teaching style. We have to enhance the engagement between the student and the teachers. And we are preparing for the future of the teaching and learning. Previously, we watched the video shared by the previous speaker regarding the using of the technology in teaching and learning. The using the 3D, the using of the images, the application, and so on. And we're using the visual reality, augmented reality, and so on. So by driving positive change, this element work together to create more effective and learning. So we as educators, we as teachers, and teachers will be as the students from the faculties of education, we need to change, we need to diverse, we need to align ourselves with the current needs. We cannot say that this is our style, this is my style, this is mine because I'm a teacher, so you have to follow my style. No. That's why the innovation must start with the needs of the learners. Learners' needs. What's the learners? Because we are talking about the instructional technology. When we want to develop the content, the ideas, we want to develop the digital materials, the first thing we need to have, we want to know the learners' needs. From that's where we will develop anything we want, digital module, digital content, digital activities, and so on, by using AI, by using apps, by using software, by using system, and so on. If not, if we didn't start with the learner's need, at the end, our technology developed cannot be used and cannot be implemented in the classroom, or at the end, we can say that it is useless. Student can't get any benefit, can get any significant impact from our innovation. So that's why the current trend of educational innovations include, for example, we are talking about blended and online learning. Nowadays, we are talking about since the pandemic COVID-19, we are using the blended one. And 1 hour in the physically in the classroom. At the end, students need to submit doing activities, forum, discussion, and so on in learning management system using the online learning has been provided by university. And gamification, even though the gamify the classroom, lecturer or teacher no need to talk all the time from the beginning until at the end. Students, lecturer, educators must act as a facilitator in the classroom, not as a teacher. We facilitate the student, gamify. Lecturer provide the module for only 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we gamify the classroom. The participant, the student will participate in doing based on the teaching materials and so on. Personalized learning is trend of a unique benefit and challenge. Personalized learning, now students have right to personalize their learning. They want to learn from this to this. They want to learn from time to time. They have to personalize their learning based on their needs, based on their. So I will share to you, as mentioned by the moderator, I'm started with the teaching and learning innovation on Arabic learning since 2017. 17 exactly. Alhamdulillah, until now I have developed and so on with the multiple of the digital content and innovation in teaching and learning of Arabic language, and has been certified and awarded by international and national level of the innovation competition. So where I start, the case study of successful innovation is this. I start with the learner's need. I want to know why students learning Arabic language cannot proficient at the end of the class. So actually, what kind of the student needs from the learning of the Arabic language subject of the university. From that, I developed the module, the assessment, the activities, and so on, and then implement it, apply to the student and get the feedback. Is it positive or not positive? Is it can increase their achievement or not? Is it can increase their motivation in learning or not? So at the end, we have the result. We have at the end, the innovation of the teaching and learning can be a paradigm for us, especially in using. 10 years ago, we didn't have any AI support. Now, few years, AI come into our life. AI help us everything in our life. Especially the popular one is ChatGPT. Right? There are a lot of generative AI provided available in the world, or available in the internet and so on. So where is the paradigm AI in education? AI diarahkan pelajar sebagai penerima, AI sebagai generative, AI sebagai penyokong, pelajar sebagai rakan kerjasama, AI sebagai pemimpin, because everything on AI. Even the student in the S2 sarjana doing their research S2 or S3 more rely into AI in writing the thesis. At the end, without checking, without using the AI in the right way, at the end, coming to the Viva session, presentation session, and so on, chat, question and answer, student didn't get to answer what they have written in the thesis and so on, in the assignment, in the project. So we as educators, we cannot prevent the student in using the artificial intelligence in education. We ask the student to do her homework. We ask the student to do the assignment. But as our role to validate, is it student did by their own or did by AI? So we as an educator, we must validate how we need the way we want to validate. By using the presentation, that's why at the end, at the first of the sharing today, I said that lack of human touch. So AI need the human touch at the end. We need to verify the content provided, the information provided. We as an educator, we need to verify, is it true? Is it genuine or not? Is it wrong? And so on. So we need to proceed into the intersection of the three elements of teaching and learning. We enhance the teaching learning. Sorry, we enhance. Sorry. Okay. Enhance learning module and strategy. We empower student and learning agents, and we flexible learning. How the component work together to create an effective learning environment, because we want to integrate the technology into the classroom. A lot of the tools, the technology provided available, free, paid, and so on. We have to discover all the technologies? No. As the educators, as the teachers, as the students, we can only choose one or two that is suitable, that is suit with us. Maybe, for example, I prefer using generative AI Cloudy rather than ChatGPT. Some, my friend, my colleague, prefer use Gemini. Prefer use Gemini AI in doing their daily work. That's why we as a student or learners or teachers, by enhancing learning and module strategy. So we need to enhance our learning module and strategy. No more textbook, no more handout, physical handout, printed handout. All is about the interactive module. Students need to open the module by using their devices. That is the interactive module. By clicking in the module, they will pop up the video explanation. By clicking the link, we pop out the link into the activities directly. And the flexible learning, student not only can learn in the classroom, but also outside the classroom. The interactive, the connection between student and teachers and students, anywhere and anytime, using the chatbot, using the forum platform, and so on. If the student have the question to ask the lecturer, automatically we notify the lecturer from the teacher device regarding the communication, two-way communication, and ask question and answer from both. So we empower students, learning agents. This is the important thing. Give the opportunity, the spaces for the student to collaborate in the teaching and learning process. Not only rely, just listen what I want to talk. No, but we need to collaborate, student as a collaborator. So in the pedagogy transformation has shared by the doctor previously, the transformation technology involves 4 key elements: interactive teaching and learning, personal learning, adaptive assessment, adaptive activities, and so on. Even though we want to develop on open distance learning, ODL, or we want to develop massive open online courses, we want to develop the micro credential, the courses without lecturer physically in real, but I'm teaching. For example, today I want to learn regarding the Arabic language from the University of in Saudi, in Riyadh, in Mecca, for example. I just only can enroll in the classroom without attending physically. But the content provided by the teachers in that particular university must be involved that interactive content, personal learning, adaptive assessment, adaptive activities that interact and motivate the student. So we as educators or teachers, we need to realize, at the end of this class, what is our objective? At the end of the topic, every subject, we have the course learning objective. What's the objective? We want, at the end of this class, today we will be able to blah, 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 blah. So is it achievable with the pedagogy transformation that we have developed, we are used in our teaching and learning process? So by using the technology, how we want to use the AI, for example, because I'm focusing on AI, because of the nowadays, AI becomes very, very, not the most popular, but very, very popular. For example, ChatGPT. So how we want to transform from traditional teaching to constructive pedagogy in the classroom. Every student come to the classroom, even though in sekolah ibtidaiyah atau sanawiyah ataupun secondary, primary or secondary school, or the S1, S2, S3 and so on, come with a device. Even though kanak-kanak, children so have their own device nowadays. So cooperative learning with ChatGPT as team members, because ChatGPT, we communicate with them. Ask him, they will answer the question. Correct him. Sometimes we just only accept the information from ChatGPT. No, that's wrong. We are talking about chat, two-way communication. If we seen the wrong information from ChatGPT, we have to correct. We have to correct them with the right information. And the database from the ChatGPT we change and they include the database. AI as one of the learning agents. Yes. AI as a learning agent for us. We want to learn. For example, nowadays learning language. AI can help us to translate what kind of sentences. We don't need to memorize all the vocabulary. Previously, our time as a lecturer during study, to learn the language, English language, Arabic language, Indonesian, Malaysian language, we need to memorize all the vocabulary provided. But by having AI nowadays, Google Translate, ChatGPT, and so on, Grammarly can correct with the right sentences, and brainstorming online with ChatGPT, this represents a fundamental shift in how. For example, I share my experience. I want to do some research. I want to do some study. I have no idea. So what I'm doing, before starting a reading, looking for the topic to do the research. So I'm trying to chat with the ChatGPT or AI. Sometimes the ideas come from the AI is very brilliant. So from the ideas we got, so we need to verify, doing some literature review, looking to the potential, the conceptual, is relevant or not to do this research and this study and so on. So brainstorming online with ChatGPT is very, very what we call is kita panggil apa? Kita panggil dia sebagai satu benda yang kadang-kadang kita rasa mengarut, tapi sebenarnya itulah yang paling efektif. Kadang-kadang kita boleh bicara dengan kawan-kawan, teman-teman kita, dapatkan idea, tak jumpa. Tetapi bila berbicara, chatting with the ChatGPT, talking about the something yang apa yang kita rasa, dan they are coming with the ideas, share the right methodology, the right how starting from the scratch until at the end. Maybe ada perkara yang kita boleh ambil, ada perkara yang kita tidak boleh ambil. So we as a human, we need to verify and validate the information provided by the AI, for example. So this, the constructive, the cooperative learning shared by by using the ChatGPT, how the open AI ChatGPT can be one of the team members, and to have the discussion with us. Sometimes we have a limited idea. But the AI with the large list, we call LLM, database, large database, Gemini and so on, the Google and so on. They have a lot of database provided in the server. We are prompting. The way we prompting is very crucial in order to get the right information. So in the classroom, for example, what I have practices in the classroom. And after giving the lecture for 15 until 20 minutes, I ask the student to open the computer or laptop or devices, open the ChatGPT or any kind of AI you prefer to use. So brainstorming the ideas. So from the ideas, share with us what the ideas of regarding the topic and how to practice and practically. So based on the ideas we are discuss relevancy and also related to the topic. So the student very interested. The classroom will be more effective rather than we ask them any question. Of course, the answer from the student, no question. Understand? Yes, understood. It's okay? Okay. Yeah, this the Z generation nowadays. It's kind of deniable, even though in Malaysia or Indonesia and so on, in anywhere. And after having finishing the class, okay, any question, students? You have any question? No. But when we ask them to use the technology, ask them to play with the digital device and so on, they will be more interesting and so on. And also brainstorming the idea, they are trying to code and so on. Even though we have talking about, teaching the Arabic language, I ask them to do a debate in the classroom. So how student we can get the information that the script of the debate? You can ask the ChatGPT. You as opponent, or you as a government talking about one topic. So every group searching, looking for the information. And for example, I share to you, for Arabic language, we have the baris. We call as harakat ataupun baris. Even though we can ask the AI to put the baris. Sometimes the students from Arabic learners, from Arabic background, they are very challenging to put the baris itu correctly, because it related to the grammar, rules, nahu and saraf and so on. But AI can help student to put the baris itu dengan betul, dan student tinggal untuk baca dan memorize dan present. Sebenarnya kita tahu point itu, konten itu datang daripada AI, tapi apa yang kita mahukan? Student confidence dia dalam berbicara, komunikasi dia boleh membentangkan, boleh mengutarakan hujah-hujah yang baik. Di situ mereka boleh mempraktikkan kemahiran komunikasi dengan lebih berkesan. Okay, saya tidak berhasrat untuk pergi dengan lebih panjang, dengan lebih detail, kerana kalau ikutkan saya, I prepare the slide almost 30 slides to share, but with the limitation of the time, what I want to say, by using of AI, by using of the technology in the teaching and learning process or in the classroom nowadays is very crucial. No one can deny from the put aside of the technology, especially as we as educators are bringing the technology into classroom, but the strategy how we want to implement the technology. We cannot say that from the minute one terus guna teknologi itu tidak boleh, tetapi kita kena tahu bagaimana dulu kita pelajar kita punya style of learning, bagaimana retention learning pyramid dia macam mana, dan mereka lebih suka tengok video ke, dan mereka lebih suka tengok buat activity practices ke dan sebagainya. Kadang-kadang sometimes the lecturer are wrong in using the right technology in the teaching and learning process. At the end, it's not give any beneficial and benefit into the students, and student didn't get any motivation and also impact to that. Okay, sorry, I have 5 minutes more. Okay, so in developing, so I sikit lagi okay. I share with the process of designing pedagogy integrating of AI. as I mentioned earlier, identify student background, learning style, preference, prior knowledge, and so on. Create a group teaching and learning activities that involve solving specific problem or questions, problem development process, and so on. So nowadays we are calling about design development, research, TDR, and so on, development, everything. All the lecture are developing their own content right now. Are using TikTok. That's right. And giving the lecture by using the 2 minutes using the platform TikTok, no problem. So many content creators come from the educators right now. Instead of using for teaching and learning process, and also for the social media, no problem sharing the knowledge. And use generative AI such as ChatGPT to answer learning problems and questions that have been generated, and update learning problem and question in activity based on AI feedback. Ask students to self-reflect. That's important. At the end, reflection from the student. Is it this style of or digital content or technology have impact to you? You understand better or not compared to traditional approaches without any technological? We are using the softboard, whiteboard, and so on. We are using the lecture all the time. So the process of designing, but the challenging to us as an educator, as a teacher, is more about the development process. I don't know how to use the technology to develop, to create a video, to create activity, to generate the poster. And for example, I can if you are familiar with the software called as a Canva. You know Canva? It's very popular, right? From the Canva nowadays is upgraded until you can use Canva to generate a logo using the AI. You prompt the Canva logo AI, so Canva can provide you the logo. So let's say, sampai tahap itu sekarang AI mampu lakukan. Apatah lagi kalau kita mahu informasi-informasi. Logo yang biasa kita upah orang dengan bayaran yang lumayan untuk membuat satu logo, sebagai contohnya logo Unisda. Okay. So John Dewey said, education is not a matter of telling and being told, but an active and constructive process. Yes, totally agree with the current process of teaching and learning and remain relevant in our technological age. Pendidikan bukan harus bercakap, memberitahu dan juga diberitahu, tetapi lebih kepada proses active learning. That's why we are talking about the active learning. We need to more into the how we want to AI won't replace educators, but educators who don't use AI might be replaced by those who do. This emphasizes the importance of adapting to new technology. Right? Ada orang bilang, cakap nanti kalau semua AI buat, nanti pensyarah guru-guru tak ada kerja. Kerana pelajar sudah boleh belajar melalui AI saja. Tak perlu hadir ke kuliah, tak perlu hadir ke physical. That is wrong. Sebab itu human touch, coming to the lecture, classroom, having the lecture from the lecturer, doing the activities, the assessment, and so on. By using the AI, no problem. But AI will not replace us. But will replace educators who don't use AI. Right? So we need to adapt with ourselves with the AI. Don't say, oh, AI tak betul, salah. No. Sometimes AI is better than human. Sometimes. So the right way we use AI can help us. So what is the ethic Yeah. What is the ethic in teaching and learning of using AI? Yes, obviously. How we use AI to maximize the benefit of education while ensuring the fairness, integrity, and human rights are protected. So basically, by integrating the technology into the education system, into the classroom, by the flip, education, the practice, and so on, AI can help us more. There are a lot of the platform for AI, free or paid. Sangat lumayan, sangat berbaloi kalau kita bayar AI platform yang bisa membantu kerja harian kita, mempercepatkan kerja-kerja harian kita daripada kita melanggan Netflix, kan? Daripada kita melanggan Netflix yang hanya boleh meruangkan waktu lapang kita aja. Jadi kalau adalah yang guna AI free, kalau memang menggunakan AI yang perlu berbayar, kalau itu lebih berbaloi, boleh mempercepatkan tugas kerja kita seharian yang biasanya kita menulis artikel sebulan baru siap, kemungkinan dengan AI boleh siap dalam masa seminggu. Kadang-kadang AI itu boleh membantu kerja kita yang sepatutnya sejam tetapi boleh jadi 10 minit. Kadang-kadang kita belum sempat, kan? Sempat pensyarah nak datang ke kelas kerana kesibukan dan sebagainya. We are busy with other things, forgetting to create a slide for teaching next class. This morning I have class, but after solat subuh, I forgot that I didn't have any slide to teach for this morning. So what we want to do? AI will help us, and we are using the Gamma AI. We can search the Gamma. It help us to provide to generate the slide based on our module and notes. We just only upload our content, the module, the PDF file, or so on. So Gamma AI will generate into the slide. So we just download the slide, we share the slide to the student, so we are going to teaching within 1 or 2 minutes. There is for example, there is a lot of benefit and a lot of the what we call a lot of the features provided by AI. So I think that's all from me. Beyond 30 minutes, I hope that this sharing can get some benefit from this sharing to all the participant and audience. So basically, when we are talking about using the technology into the classroom and so on, it's a worldwide talking. We have a lot of applications, software, system, and so on. So we need to focus what are the technological tools that give more benefit to us. Focus on that only.
Okay,
Don't try to compare each other. So I prefer ChatGPT. My friend prefer Gemini. So I need to be with us because I want to master in Gemini also. And so no problem. It's all this type of so focus on that suitable, and we comfort with that. So with that all, I would like to say thanks to any question regarding the sharing for today. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wan Abdul Aziz, for such a thought-provoking presentation. We really appreciate your expertise. One sentence that I highlight here is technology will never never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers in transformational. So everybody here, it's the time for question and answer session for session 2. Okay, so here we are going to receive one question here. Okay, I will read the question for Dr. Wan. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Wan Abdul Aziz, may I ask a question? And my question is, what impact does AI have on student engagement during the learning process? So this can give rise to critical thinking in them. How can hybrid or flexible learning models be optimized with the technology? And how can this technology be adapted or improved for better learning outcomes? So for Dr. Wan Abdul
Sure.
Aziz, yes,
Okay.
Wan Ab
Okay.
Aziz, you
Yeah,
may
yeah,
answer
okay.
this question.
Okay, there is 3 question, I think. Is what impact does AI
Okay.
have on student
So I
engagement
think
during
this
the
is
learning process?
the only question
Okay,
for these sessions because from one person, but here we have 3 questions.
no problem. I try to answer, right? Okay, for especially the impact of AI on the student, especially for the learning process, is very impactful. We are not asking students to cheat, no. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you ask student to use AI. That means you try to ask student to teach student to cheat in teaching and learning process." No. For example, student doing assignment, student doing practical and so on, and in teaching and learning, looking for the information and so on. AI can help the student in giving the information, but with the information, student need to verify with the correctly the information, literature review, and so on. And after that, after we are, for example, I'm asking student to do the assignment, so you can find out the information and so on from AI, whatever, so on. But at the end, how I want to validate that student are doing by their own, or they rely everything on AI, I need students to come to the classroom and present what they have done. So we can validate, is it student master on what they have doing or not? First one. The second one, AI can help students to create an outline. For example, student want to do an assignment but the topic given by the lecture, but student didn't know where to start. So student or user or learners can ask the AI to generate the outline of the assignment of the topic. Start from chapter 1, 1.1, 1.2, chapter 2, what is so on, what need to be written in the assignment given by the lecturer. So any kind of the assessment, a task, student we are given to the student, the student can help the student a lot, impact the student to drive them into the right way of the doing and teaching and learning process. The second question, so this can give rise to critical thinking in them. Yes, that's why we ask students to use the AI in the classroom. For example, we create the discussion among the students. So student getting the idea. So by the getting idea, student elaborate more and try to relate what we have teaching, what we have learned about the topic. The student can critique. Is it the information given by the AI and so on is true or not? Sebenarnya ia lebih mencambahkan pemikiran pelajar. Lebih ni. How can hybrid or flexible learning model can be optimized with the technology, and how can this technology be adapted, improved for better learning outcome? Okay. Hybrid or flexible learning, as I mentioned, open distance learning. Nowadays we have massive open online courses, micro credential, and so on. ODL offered by the universities, institutions around the world. How the model be optimized with the technology? That's why I mentioned that this the content we want to develop. We need to start with the learners needs, the content, the activities, the interactive content, interactive activities, and interactive assessment. In each module we have developed using the technology must be in line with the pedagogical approach. Dia tidak boleh lari daripada pedagogical punya teknik. Kita mula dengan, biasanya kita akan memula, we start our teaching and learning process, traditional, we start with the what we call, it's not reflection, what we call is introduction, and so we deliver the content, right? So we have the activities to make a student more understanding what we are learn, and also the right one, reflection, assessment. So all these things all the characteristics must be adapted into the technology. So even though the teacher or the lecturer are not appearing online or physical and so on, students learn by their own self-learning in the room, in the outside and so on, anytime, anywhere, no problem. At the end, student achieve the learning objective. Okay, is it I answer the question?
Thank you very much, Dr. Wan of Aziz, from answering the question and also from giving a really awesome presentation for us. I'm afraid that we are going to move to another speaker here because we still have 2 speakers left for today's session. So once again, thank you very much for Dr. Wan of Aziz. Have a great day for today.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Ladies and gentlemen, here our 3rd speaker for today is Dr. Marvin S. Daguplo from Southern Leyte State University, Philippines. Are you there, Dr. Marvin?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Marvin. While we are waiting for sharing the screen by Dr. Marvin, I am going to read his CV here. So Dr. Marvin is a faculty member of the College of Teacher Education of the Southern Leyte State University. He teaches mathematics education, research methods and design, and educational statistic courses in higher and advanced education. As a professor in the field of mathematics education, his research publications are highly related to mathematical pedagogy, instructional assessment, and program evaluation. He has presented research at national and international conferences and is a recipient of awards as a research presenter, extensionist, and education program leader. He is currently the project leader of ARL, or Acculturation of Research in Advancing Learning Program, Numerates, Navigating Unconventional Mathematics Education Through Relevant Research, Advanced Creative Work, and Transformative Educational Services, Numeracy Education, Remediation, Assessment, and Intervention Strategies and Enhancement Program for Mathematics Teachers, and ITISM, Institute for Teaching and Investigating the Science of Mathematics Education Program of Southern Leyte State University, College of Teacher Education. Currently, he is working on a research project, Admission, Graduation, Employment, or Age Continuum Program, Best Practices of Providing Expanded Learning Opportunities for a Successful Mathematics Pre-Service Teacher Education. Everybody here, let's warmly welcome Dr. Marvin for
Hello,
giving the
good
presentation.
morning. Am I
Morning.
audible?
Yes,
Okay,
we can
thank
hear
you.
your voice really clearly, Dr. Marvin.
Good morning, Dr. Marvin.
Good morning. As of this time, tell me if I speak English fast. Okay, so I
Okay.
can slow it down.
Thank you for the understanding, Dr. Marvin.
I understand there are requests in the chat box to mix with Malay, but I don't speak Malay actually, so I have to speak in English, but this time very, very, very slowly. Okay.
Yes,
So,
Dr. Marvin.
okay. So let me share with you this morning sharing on the future of education. And the focus of this sharing is a blend of tradition and technology. So let me share first with you a certain video. I hope this one is audible. Is it audible? Okay.
Yes, we can hear your voice, Dr. Marvin. Okay. But it's very low.
found in your classroom. Your classroom is packed with creative potential. You have all the innovation right there in your It's what happens when you experiment. It's what happens when you give your students voice and choice. It's what happens when you abandon the script curriculum and take your students off-road in their learning. It's what happens when you teach to your students rather than teaching to the class. It's what happens when you unleash the creative power of all of your students.
No audio. Is it audible? No audio.
It's audible, but it's
Oh,
very soft voice. Very
Okay.
low. It's not very clear at all.
Okay. Okay. No. Okay naman.
But understand this, that every time the students get a chance to be authors of sciences, artists or engineers, who are imagine. That is why the education.
Di ba, Clara? Salamat. Mira. Okay. Okay, so I think it's not that good, no? So maybe we can have okay, excuse. You can just go to the next slide. I'm sorry for that video. Okay, so we'll just go into this a question, no, that I am going to pose to everyone. A very common question that is facing us in this technology-driven community, especially in the field of education. So the common question that we are going to share this morning for my sharing is, will education technology replace traditional teaching? Okay, so this has been also discussed by my colleagues in the previous discussion, no? The role of technology in education and the continued challenge whether the power of technology will have to rule the teaching profession. So there is an article that has been written just this year, 2024, to answer the question whether technology would really replace the role of teachers in the teacher education community. And simply, that article answer that question as no. The technology will not and won't replace teacher. Instead, technology will help the lesson delivered better by the teacher. So there is no point of competing between the role of teacher and the role of technology in the classroom. Instead, our goal and our dream is to establish a collaborative environment where teacher and technology are equally maximizing so that lessons will be delivered properly. Yes, it's true that technology offers efficiency, scalability, and personalized learning experience. But as mentioned by the previous discussant of today's seminar, technology doesn't have the touch of the human person. Technology doesn't have the heart of a person that emphasizes passion towards education, that emphasizes the touch of the learning process. Technology doesn't have that emotion, that feelings that ever learners are very much needed in the period of discussion. So, with the presence of teachers in the classroom, despite the role of technology, teacher can still offer human connection, empathy, and mentorship, while learners are also using technology in the learning process. The value of a teacher in this case is irreplaceable. No technology can replace human heart. No technology can replace human touch. No technology can replace human understanding in the process of learning. So our drive for this morning discussion is to share with you practices where we can actually balance and meet humanity with that of technology. In fact, the technology and teacher collaboration is very evident today in our classroom situation, may it be in basic education or in higher education. It's undeniable that every now and then, students and teachers and even administrators are using the help of technology to facilitate the work, to fast track everything that we do, not only in the offices, but also in our respective classrooms. Technology can cater to special students, but these special students still need a human touch more than anyone. There is a need for more and continued understanding while we deliver the lesson, which cannot be given by any technology. And take note that in the teaching and learning process, teaching is not just about relaying information, which every technology can do. Teacher goes beyond just access to information. Teaching is not just being able to access new and relevant learning. Teaching is more than that. Teaching is more holistic in nature. It goes the mind, it touches the heart, and it transforms every individual. And transformation process actually requires the presence of a more personal relationship between the teacher and the learner. So it is very evident that the role of teacher is still very important in today's classroom discussion. Recent articles on the preference of learners on a continued presence of teachers are very evident in recent publication. A publication on students' instructional delivery approach preference for sustainable learning emphasizes that institutions should prioritize technology integration into face-to-face instruction. But the role of technology here is not to replace the role of teachers, but to leverage the approaches. So that when we leverage, when we expound the discussion through the use of technology, student engagement and sustainable learning will be achieved. Another study on the preference for the presence of continued relevance of the teacher's presence in the classroom is a study conducted by Tabire and Aful, which actually reveals that our undergraduate students, this means the tertiary students, show blended approach to be integrated in the teacher-centered and non-digital based approach to pedagogy, which means that we cannot move away from the tradition where teacher presence facilitates the continued learning in the classroom. The beauty here is that with the use of technology, teacher can better allow the learners to experience discovery of lessons, to experience construction of knowledge through the aid of existing technology. So these are just a few studies which manifest that despite today's generation of advancement of technology, a teacher cannot just easily move away from pure technological teaching. Instead, a more personal touch accompanied by the use of technology can actually amplify. Now, if I borrow the word of Miss Sun, no, can amplify the learning experience of our students. So, in the integration process of technology into our classroom discussion, we have to identify who are our learners. We understand that we are future teachers. So some of us here are future teachers. Some of us here are already teachers. And we understand that our students are called digital natives. No? Every now and then, technology is part of their personality. Technology is part of their being. Technology is inseparable of their learning development process. Yes, we acknowledge that our learners are digital natives. However, we should not forget that though they are digital natives, still they are biological learners. They still need the presence of a personal engagement, a presence of a face-to-face collaboration, the presence of a social learning activities manifested through teamwork in the classroom. We acknowledge technology and digitization as part of our learning process. But we have to take note always that these learners of ours, despite their inclination to the use of technology, they have still the need for biological touch. Thus, it is very impossible to move away from traditional mode of teaching and just absorb and use full technology in the classroom. So, let me share with you some of our practices, how we can establish technology and teacher collaboration in the classroom. These are just common practices that probably you might also have experience in your schools or in your university. First, let us be aware that there are ways where teacher and technology can collaborate. This has been discussed also by my previous discussions. No, the existence of AI can influence our learning process in three different modes. We can have AI directed. So as mentioned earlier, in this case, learner is just pure recipient, a passive learner, where the learner easily accepts what the AI, generative AI, is provided. Now, this is somewhat an extreme negative for learners when a learner will just immediately accept what is provided by an AI. It seems that in this case, learner will just be a passive recipient of a learning process. A second mode where we can collaborate AI is AI supported. Here, we understand that AI is a training technological set, which means a learner or a teacher can actually communicate to AI. So in this case, we are learning through AI, and AI also is learning through our means of communication. Once collaboration is enriched through constant dialogue with AI, the AI system will be enriched so that we also have an expanded new horizon of learning when AI and the learner can work together to generate new type of information. The third mode, which I believe is the best in terms of hierarchical coordination or collaboration with AI, is the AI empowered. In this case, the learner or the teacher or the person who utilizes the AI masters over technology. It is the person becomes the driver of the technology. It is the person who becomes the master on how to properly and appropriately use technology or AI. It is a human person who manipulates the use of AI so that AI will be able to provide the specific information this learner is asking or requesting from the technology. So these three modes actually are the different ways where technology and teacher or technology and learner can collaborate with AI. But preferably, we should be more biased into AI supported and AI empowered mode of collaboration rather than just being a passive recipient or AI directed collaboration. So, if AI supported and AI empowered is preferred, how can we do this in our respective classroom? We can have a practice number one, and that is recognition of hybrid learning. When we say recognition of hybrid learning, a teacher or a learner must be able to learn by merging physical and digital worlds. We understand the benefit of hybrid learning, especially for those cases where digital divide is highly visible and experienced. Because when we implement hybrid learning, we are highly flexible in the provision of the learning materials to our learners. Probably for those who don't have technology, they can still go to the classroom and participate actively in the face-to-face discussion. And for those who can't go to the classroom, they can access or they can be provided with printed materials where they can study at home. Or for those who have high penetrability or access to internet, they can learn online simultaneously with the other learners who has access to internet. So the recognition and implementation of hybrid learning actually meets the common needs of persons and the use of technology in the classroom. Aside from that, the use of hybrid learning actually fosters greater autonomy and responsibility. Because with hybrid learning, learners can actually learn at their own pace and at their own time, at their own preference. But with that choice, they are responsible to provide the necessary documents or outputs required by the professor or required by the teacher. So hybrid learning is actually a combination of the best aspects of the traditional mode of learning and the online mode of education, creating or making education more inclusive for those who are those who have less access to internet, and for those who have strong access to internet connectivity. That's the first possible practice that we can use when we try to integrate and collaborate technology in our classroom. The second one is to design data-driven personalization. With the use of technology, teacher can actually provide immediate feedback to any assessments given in the classroom. But the design of those feedback given by due to assessment can actually be individualized. How? By creating a specific learning task through the help of AI. I have heard this morning that AI can help us design a lesson plan. So if AI can help us design lesson plan, I think AI also can help us design differentiated instruction that would address specific need of our learners. So a more targeted activity through the use of AI can be developed, can be tailored so that specific needs of our learners can be addressed. Especially if we have so many students in the classroom, no? We have 30 students, we have 40 students. Now it's very impractical to manually construct differentiated activities. So with the help of AI, the problem as to construction of multiple forms of individualized or targeted learning tasks can be easily facilitated. The third possible practice where we can integrate technology in the classroom is to appreciate decentralization and democratization of teaching. We have to recognize the role of open educational resources and online learning platforms where every teacher or every learner can freely access to enhance education. This is one way of helping our credentials. This is one way of expanding our opportunity of learning new materials. This is an opportunity where we can actually access multiple sources of information and bring that information into a lively, active classroom discussion. With open access materials like Coursera, Khan Academy, or any YouTube no, videos, this will become an input to us so that our discussion in the classroom will be enriched, not only relied on printed materials, relying not only on the authority of the teachers, but expanding our sources into possible multiple implications for discussion in the classroom. And that will make the classroom more active and less passive because we allow our learners to access different sources of multiple materials, enriching their understanding of a certain topic. So here we recognize that learning is no longer confined to physical institutions. In our old traditional notion, we always consider our classroom as the only source of learning. In our traditional belief, we only consider teachers as the source and the authority of knowledge. But in today's digital age, where information are stored online, everyone can access this information. And it is the role of teachers to provide an expanded opportunity by allowing these learners to enroll, to access, and even to engage into multiple organizations online so that informations and new learnings will be enriched. When they go back to the classroom will be a very noisy but academically discussing the lesson being given by the teacher. The fourth practice is to strive for immersive learning. Gone are the days when in 1 hour and 30 minutes discussion, it's done by teachers. Today, our learners can learn better if they will be given more opportunity to work on their own learning process. Gone are the days when we will just give lecture because as presented by my co-discussant, less retention of learning is achieved when lecture or reading or listening is given to our learners. But if we will be using technology so that with this technology, they can be able to construct, explore, discover, or design their own strategies and techniques, then there will be a more collaborative and tangible manner of learning experiences. So we can actually use technologies, manipulate these technologies so that through manipulative actions of technologies, abstract concepts will be more tangible and will be more understandable, creating a deeper meaning to the learners.
Excuse me, Dr. Marvin. I think there's something wrong with your connection. Because we cannot reach you anymore. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's something wrong with the connection of Dr. Marvin. Oh, here is Dr. Marvin. Welcome again, Dr. Marvin. So, ladies and gentlemen, please wait for Dr. Marvin to start the presentation again. I'm so sorry, Dr. Marvin.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back again, Dr. Marvin. I'm so sorry. I think there's something wrong with the connection.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm Ice. I'm requesting to join again using my laptop because
Okay.
yeah. I am asking for me to be accepted again.
Please wait for us.
Ning connect ko sa laptop. Pero murag wa pa ma'am. Cellphone. Okay. Thank you.
This is technology.
This is technology. Okay.
Am I audible?
Hello, Dr. Marvin.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
No problem, Dr. Marvin.
Okay, so I think we are here. Practice number 5. Make learning engaging and fun through e-gamification. Learners love to play and they enjoy games. With the existing of so many
Unmute. Hello. Kana, ma'am. Cell phone. No, I think I'm audible. Okay. So with
can
the
hear your
availability
voice.
of
Yes.
with the availability of so many online games, a teacher can actually integrate gamification in learning. As I mentioned, we have hyperactive learning learners this time. So we have to entertain those behaviors of learners that really enjoy mobile activities, that really enjoy uh, interactive uh, activities, that really enjoy engagement and collaborative learning process. And one of that is through gamification. No? So those learners that really wants to play online, maybe we can integrate gamification technique in our classroom. If we have available technology in our classrooms, we can allow these learners to use technology through appropriate games, which we design for as part of the learning process. In this way, learners can be more motivated in their way of learning. We have the problem of a digital gap of learning, of understanding the learners. No? Previously, in the previous years, in our traditional thinking, we believe that learners should be attentive, should have to listen all the time so that they will be able to learn. In this digital age, learners can learn more when they are engaged in learning, when they are engaged into the activities that they love to do. But of course, with the proper facilitation of the teacher. So, with technology and teacher collaboration, we avoid the extremes of learning. We avoid too traditional, where teacher is the sole authority of teaching, and we have to avoid into a teaching where we consider technology as the only source and the only means of learning. Instead, we will meet halfway. And today's education system manifested actually a preference to constructivist mode of teaching, where technology can be integrated in order to do project-based teaching and learning, where technology is important to solve a problem-based learning, where technology is important to become successful in inquiry-based implementation. So, with teacher and technology collaborating with each other, we are avoiding the extreme of learning and teaching modalities and meet halfway on a more constructivist approach of learning using existing technology. And one of the best approach where we can actually integrate technology practically is the use of flipped classroom, where learning is done in a face-to-face manner and in a manner where learners are more independent, exploring their lessons through the use of video lectures, audio lectures, content-rich websites, or even online chats with their friends or other members of online community. And once they learned all these things, they can actually bring all those learning into the classroom by doing audiovisual reflections, blogging, or even do reflective videos, making sure that there is a merging of online learning and offline learning, a merging of traditional based learning and technology based learning. With that being said, we could say technology can't replace teachers, but they can always work together. So where are we now? We are in the period of technology rivalry, where teachers and technology has to settle their own place of learning. But we have to move forward towards the period of humanizing technology in the classroom. And that is allowing tradition and technology to meet so that learning will be amplified and will be enriched in the classroom. This time, thank you, I would say, for the opportunity of sharing these thoughts with you.
Thank you, Dr. Marvin, for sharing your valuable knowledge and perspectives with using technology in our class. We hope that our student not only become the recipient, but can become a collaborator and also a leader as you have presented for today's seminar.
Thank you.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, before we start the question and answer session, and before we conclude today's seminar, let's take a moment, capture a virtual group photo to remember this wonderful session. So everybody here, please turn on your cameras and let's all smile. So we are going to a virtual group photo. So everybody, could you please turn on your cameras? Okay, and I'll count to 3, and then we'll make the picture. Okay, we still wait for another participants. So are you ready, everybody? Here we go. I will count from 3, 2, 1. Screen shot. Yes. Once more. Please give your beautiful smile. So I'll count again from 3, 2, 1. Okay, we have done. Okay, so everybody, for the participants here, you may have a question for Dr. Marvin. You can write your question in our chat here. Okay, so because we still have one more presenter, while we are waiting for the participant to give question for Dr. Marvin on the chat session, so we are going to move to our last speaker here for today's seminar, Dr. Irmayani from Unisda Lamongan. So I will read her CV first here. So Dr. Irmayani is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. She started teaching at Unisda in 2004. After she earned her PhD, she became a journal reviewer in many nationally reputed journals. She is also the head of the Language Center, which manages 3 language competence courses, TOEFL, TOEFL, and PIPA. So everybody, finally, let's warmly welcome Dr. Irmayani for giving the last presentation for today.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Miss.
It's almost good afternoon, but before that, we're still in the morning. Good morning. Just back then, I'm afraid that how many participants here? 212 participants are leaving their screen. And there are no person behind the screen, but we have tested before. So you are still here with us, Unisda Lamongan, with our international webinar today. Thank you very much for staying with us until this time. If I can just review a little bit from the previous speakers, the first one from Dr. Sulyu Chai, we can learn how to measure the implementation of AI by using the PCRAT metrics. That's a very new insight for me as well. And from Dr. Wan, we learn how to integrate the teaching of learning by using AI until he has won many awards for the international and national level. And the one that I am very interested to say that I strongly agree with the quote that educators can't be replaced by AI, but AI will replace the educator who don't use one. So if you are here as the student teacher of the faculty of teacher and training, make sure that you are digital native, or also you are digital native. Next time when you become a teacher, you will implement the technology to empower your teaching and learning in the classroom. And from the third speaker by Dr. Marvin, I'm very interested to repeat his word that teaching is not only transforming the knowledge, but teaching needs the mind, heart, and holy approach teaching itself. So it involves not only the technology, but also delivering it by mind and heart of the teacher himself. So today I would like to, well, actually it's not something new because it's already discussed by the third previous speakers, but well, okay, because this is my obligation to be a presenter here. Well, at least I have something to share with you. Okay, let me. Yes, I'm trying to give you some insight. Well, actually, it's not something new. It's already done by some speakers as well. But I'm going to focus only in two themes or two subjects. The big theme is AI in language learning, because I'm a language teacher, and in our faculty teacher education of training, we have two language study department that they are the Indonesian education and the English education language. So what I'm going to talk about is the opportunities and challenges for the teacher and students. I'm trying to give the insight from the Indonesian vision taken from Tech Wire Asia. If we can see here, there are vision Indonesia in 2045 or 2045. We have 5 very important fields. The first one is health services. The second is bureaucratic reform. The third one, education and research. The fourth one is food security. And the last one, mobility and smart cities. We have been going so far to rebuild our new system, especially after COVID-19. All of the people in the world are revising their system of life, their system of management, and almost in every single factors of life. Our focus here is about education and research. So, well, actually, the technology present in the education is not something new. Started from 1930s, we have used overhead projectors. Probably some of you here are from the generation X to Alpha, probably. And you don't know the physical machine or the physical performance of overhead projectors, but I'm still familiar with this thing. Just a long time ago, about 30 years ago, we were still using this kind of tool. So the technology present in the classroom already. And it goes to television and videos in 1950s to 1980s. Then the computers existed in classroom in 1980s and 1990s. Probably those are the years that most of the participants here were born. And the internet in 1990s. Then we start using learning management system or LMS, late 1990s to 2000. It's very booming because the COVID-19 in all of the world. Then we have the adaptive learning technologies. So it becomes more specific for each purpose, such as Google Classroom, Edmodo, and some of other adaptive learning technologies. Then we have such kind of gamification. It's like a game, but it's not a game. It's like an assessment, but usually when it comes to assessment, students are not very happy to do that. But by using gamification such as Mentimeter or quizzes or similar equipment or similar application, the students are feeling happy to do the assessment. And also, it's like a game. I'm not sure whether all of us here are familiar with virtual reality and also the AR. I myself do not apply these two tools in my classroom, but at least I've read a little bit about how to use them. But our classrooms somehow haven't supported yet about using these kind of tools. Then now we have AI. Some of the webinar flyer tertulis AI. It means that every single thing in our life can be found or can be helped or can be assisted by AI. Then we have come to the micro-learning platform. Some days ago, I attended the seminar, then I found there is a kind of internal application developed by some specific factory of technology company, and it is for school which can apply the AI in the system of school management. So we cannot go out from the platform to integrate the AI, because the AI menu are still already exist in the micro learning platform. Of course, it's not very, it's not cheap at all, but for those, for the schools that or institution that has a very good vision and mission in the future may have or may buy such kind of service of micro learning platform. And it's very amazing to know how all of the things become integrated only in one click of what is it, page. How about in Indonesia? I'm trying to summarize. It's not actually, I'm sorry if I'm not complete yet to to make this summary. Oh, sorry, there's something wrong with my laptop. Please, not now, not now. Yeah, in just the same condition what I previously explained, that technology and language classroom in Indonesia also started with early digital tools like Google Classroom and Moodle. Then we have social media and online resources. You can check that there are a lot of resources for learning, language learning, foreign language. That's why when our generation Z, the fan of BTS, they just learn Korean language only from the YouTube or only from, what is it? M.Pd and some other social media that provides a very easy way to learn language that they want to learn, practice. And also it's very easy way to find the partner in the platform such as M.Pd and the sort of it. The advanced mobile learning actually is not something new as well, but not many of us utilize this kind of mobile learning. We actually already know that I believe that no one of my students bought any conventional dictionary right now. You can, if you are teacher here, you can ask your student whether they have the conventional dictionary or not. If you are the students, you can check your cupboard or your bookshelf if you have the dictionary in the form of book or not. I believe most of you have the dictionary only in application or what we call mobile learning application. And sometimes you just have to fill your voucher of data, then you just click Google Translate for helping you to find anything for learning language or a new vocabulary. Oh, saya lupa, saya harus mix ya. Maaf, Parodi. And the collaborative online learning. Now we, as Mr. Marvin has already sudah menjelaskan tentang bagaimana the implementation of flipped classroom. This is very good and very futuristic, and it goes side by side with the skills of 21st century. Jadi sejalan dengan keahlian abad 21 di mana flipped classroom involve many people and many students from many places, then they can talk. Mungkin sudah tidak perlu kuliah bersama, tapi implementing this flipped classroom can replace the kuliah bersama, which usually held by so many universities. So we can save our time and also our money for transportation, for having the collaborative network action. So let's talk about the first point that I want to talk. Opportunities. What do we have by or what kind of opportunities kita akan dapat opportunities apa saja sih dengan menggunakan AI? Instant feedback and assessment. Of course, karena AI sudah, jadi bukan AI sebenarnya yang pintar. In my personal opinion, yang pintar adalah the big data system itself. Karena AI itu hanya mengumpulkan, collecting all data that has the same coding or the same what we call yes, coding. Instant feedback langsung diberikan at the same time, which is very difficult for teacher to give the same way. If we have 30 students in our classroom, are you sure? Apakah kita yakin kita bisa mengoreksi pekerjaan mereka at the same time when they finish their assignment? Of course, it's very difficult. So AI in this case helps a lot the teacher. But as long as the teacher itself has already implemented the AI for the feedback and the assessment. Because if we don't use in the process, it's very difficult to have the result of the process if we don't use AI from the beginning of our teaching and learning instruction. Then another opportunities that we may have is tailored practice based on the student ability. For example, by using Duolingo, for example, there are some kind of level that the student can predict, or the teacher can guide the student to practice in what level they must do for practice. Of course, there are some kind of challenge here because we are dealing with the cell phone, we are dealing with so many factors that support the technology itself. I'm going to talk about that later in challenges. Then speaking skill development, it's very clear that one time ago, ya ada yang viral in YouTube that one of the cashier of Indomaret convenience store, can I say brand? that can speak Japanese very fluently. And she was being interviewed by the real Japanese. Then when the Japanese person wondered how she could have such kind of Japanese competence in speaking, she said only by watching, anime. Anime and trying to explore by using what she has watched in film or in YouTube for providing such kind of Japanese course online. So this is very proven that AI can assist in developing speaking skill through voice recognition technology. Even for the music, for the musician or for the singer who are still learning how to match their pitch control, we can see that whether our voice or the tone has the same pitch as the AI or the application asks. So this is very, amazing step one for practicing anything by using the AI help or assistant. Then another opportunity is writing assistant. Of course, in this case, the student must be guided by the teacher. For language teacher, untuk guru bahasa, bisa mengarahkan scaffolding, kerangka berpikir yang bisa dibantu oleh AI. It depends what kind of AI you like to use. The very famous one is ChatGPT, but there are some other applications that all are also free and can help you, the teacher, guide the students to have writing assistant. Of course, you must be a good user of AI first before you invite the student to use the same tool. And another challenge is about content and topic recommendation. I'm myself found that very hard for my student if we give only the certain topic for them to make up a paragraph, sort of things. But whenever I guide them to use AI to see the guideline of the outlines, what kind of content or what kind of paragraph that they must use, they get like find the way to go home. Like, oh, this is what I should do with my writing, and so on and so forth. The last opportunities I want to talk about is the motivation and student engagement themselves. But this is also the challenge for us because once our barriers is about the technology support. Not all of our students are having a very good device to implement the AI in their cell phone. Some of them are not having the good, a specification for the cell phone to be able to adapt the AI use for their motivation or for their engagement. So sometimes they share with their friends who has a better device for being active in the classroom if we use AI in the classroom. The last point that I want to share with you is as I said before, the technology. Are we ready with this technology? As the language teacher, are we sure that all of the students are ready with the device? Are we sure all of the students have the credits for the voucher to use the AI? Because AI costs the data voucher, and of course we must concern about how much money do our student must spend for being involved with the teacher who use AI in the classroom. Hopefully the institution has a very big bandwidth internet, but how about the institution that doesn't support that? So this is the challenge for all of us as the language learner or language teacher. So we cannot just simply use AI and do not ask the students to use AI without our scaffolding or our plan, very strictly plan or lesson plan. The second one, the challenge is human resource itself. Are we ready? Are we ready as the English or language teacher to adapt or to implement the AI in our classroom? In Indonesia, from all of the number of teachers, there are 25% who are not familiar with using technology, even PowerPoint. But yes, of course, mostly of us are familiar with. I'm talking about the unfamiliar one. This is also our consideration, how to develop the human resources capacity to face this AI era. Another challenge comes from student attitudes and behaviors. This is very hard because AI doesn't have any feelings, while teacher always have feelings. AI do not know your pocket, do not know your how much money you have for buying some voucher of data. But the teacher knows. So dealing with this, we must concern about the students' attitude and behavior. In using AI, sometimes they also can cheat our assignment. Probably some of our students are much familiar with the better AI than the teacher have used. So this is also our challenge as a language teacher to implement AI in the classroom. Another challenge is dragging teachers' presence. So this is what Dr. Marvin has said before, and also Dr. Wan, that we must integrate, or we must walk side by side very good in teaching our student if we use AI in the classroom. We must maintain that there must some continue interaction between the teacher and the students. Also, the students has also good interaction. Then these are still realizing that the teacher's presence are or felt in the classroom. The last one, of course, the classroom management. Can you imagine that we have 30 students in the classroom, then they are all holding the gadget? And how about the management of the classroom? So in this case, the teacher in the future must be very careful to make a very detailed lesson plan if they want to implement the gadget in the classroom or AI. The last part of this slides is recommendation, but it's already mentioned by some previous speaker. So make AI as an assistant, and teacher gives contextual and cultural approach that the AI cannot give. And modify AI with conventional learning, of course. Enhance speaking, then explore creative writing with AI. So finally, this is what I can deliver to you all. And this is the example of the application to learn Arabic language and English language and also Indonesian language by mobile learning application. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Irmayani, for wrapping up this session with such an inspiring presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we are now in the fourth session, I wanted to open the floor for any questions or clarifications from the third session and also the fourth session. If anyone has any question related to the previous sessions and also this session, please feel free to share them now. For the participants, you may give questions to our two presenters. Okay, for the participants, the attendance list can be found in our chat. Okay, I think because our speakers are very clear for delivering the presentation, so the participants have no questions for our last session. Distinguished speakers, honorable guests, and dear participants, as we conclude today's international seminar on transforming education, the role of technology in shaping future classrooms, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has contributed to making this event a success. To our esteemed speakers, thank you for sharing your invaluable insights and expertise. Your perspective had not only inspired us but also opened our eyes to the endless possibilities technology brings to education. To our participants also, your enthusiasm and engagement, both through uh, thoughtful question and active presence, have truly enriched this seminar. Although this session has come to an end, the discussion and ideas we have exchanged today mark just the beginning of our journey in shaping the classroom of the future. Let us continue to innovate, collaborate, and transform education together. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank you all once again for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you at the future event. Have a nice day. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you very much. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't forget to fill the presence link. Jangan lupa untuk teman-teman mahasiswa dari prodi lain untuk mengisi daftar hadir yang linknya bisa ditemukan di kolom chat. Terima kasih.
Kabar, Bros.
Tidak siap kapan nih kita batu? Nanti.
Let's finish the attendance list.
Absen sini kau udah pendaftaran ya?
Iya, kak.
Sama.
Ada judulnya.
Ini student enggak umum.
Bapak, nimnya jisret aja.
No.
Iya.
Nih tak gawe M.Pd.
Kalau tidak panitia sertifikat B.
Nanti ada sendiri.
Aku kayak senang kalau dikasih sertifikat kalah nanti.
191, 191.